Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jess from BehatiLife. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about the Celtic cross and how to get more out of it than what you already do. Now I'm focusing on the Celtic cross because it's one of the most wildly used spreads within the entire, I guess, tarot world. But I think for that it's kind of, I don't want to say abused, but it can only serve so much. And it doesn't answer all of your questions that most people are seeking when they're working with that deck. When they're working with that spread, although it does cover a lot of information. So the Celtic cross in general, for those of you guys that don't know, or if you're new to the tarot, it pretty much is super popular. But what it does is it shows and maps out an entire situation in the energy around a situation. So for that, when you're working with a spread and when you're working with a tarot, you want to focus on the simple, basic bones of whatever it is that you're working with, whether it be a card or whether it be a spread, and definitely when you're asking a question. So when you ask a question, you want to be very specific and particular about what it is that you're asking, and you want to remember that, because when you're shuffling the cards and when you put them out into a spread, the tarot is answering that question only. So I see that over time a lot of people, even advanced readers, they kind of deviate away from the question that was asked. The tarot is, again, only answering that question that you asked in that moment when you cut the deck and then you laid it out for the entire spread. It's not answering anything else unless there's additional cards that come in that are giving additional information and insight. And sometimes some cards can kind of trickle into a new area. But for the most part, the tarot is answering that question that you asked. That being said, with the Celtic cross, when you ask that question, it's showing the energy and the life of that situation. It kind of reminds me of a natal chart. It shows me, when you pull a natal chart, I'm an astrologer, for those of you guys that don't already know, but when you pull a natal chart, it's showing and mapping out the energy of a person's strengths and weaknesses. The Celtic cross within that spread is mapping out the strengths and the weaknesses and the energy of the question. And it's focusing on whatever it is that you asked specifically. That's, again, why you want to remember and write down what exactly your question was. So for that, you'll see the entire situation, but in a lot of ways that doesn't really tell you what to do next or what to tell your clients to do next. So for that, you have to, or what I like to do is create an action, pull some cards and create an action plan is what I like to call it. And basically it's just maybe like 5 or 4 cards in a row. And I just say, okay, what do I need to do in order to get to whatever the goal is? So for example, let's say I'm focusing on asking questions about my business. Show me what is going on with my business. Show me the energy of my business and how to help it grow. So then you shuffle the cards, and then you lay it out, and it shows the entire situation. It shows the energy of my business and the energy around my business within that moment when I ask that question. And also what I can potentially see as you move forward, because each card, each position within this spread has a very specific and distinct meaning. And if you would like me to make a video explaining the Celtic cross, I'm more than happy to do that. Just leave it down in the comments below. So that being said, so it shows the entire energy of the situation, and then what I do is pull 5 cards afterwards now that I can see that this is what it looks like. Whether it's a good thing that I'm excited about or something that challenges me, then at least I know, and then I can then move forward and shuffle the cards and ask them, okay, I see that this is going on, or I see that there's this obstacle, or I see that this is happening. How can I make this better? What can I do in order to get to my personal desired outcome? The other thing to remember with the tarot is that, especially when you're working with the Celtic cross, it shows the energy in this situation, which gives you the power to kind of shift and to change it to your liking as much as it's in your power to do so. So even though the cards may promise that there could be like an alignment of 2 people or something coming in or a message coming in, there's still action that needs to happen in order to help that to happen. For the action plan, because I feel like I'm going to get questions with this, it's not really a spread. It kind of is, but it's a very simple spread. I personally like to keep my methods very simple because everything else is so intricate and so detailed and so complicated that I keep everything bare bones basic. So when I'm working on my action plan, pretty much what I do is I have 4 or 5 cards placed in a row. The number in which I pull those cards is first this is going to happen, second this is going to happen, third this will happen, fourth I can expect this, fifth I can expect this. So pretty much it's showing me what is ahead and what the strengths are going to be, what the obstacles can be, and advice for how to handle them. So I'll have, for me, I'll have 1 section, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 different rows, 2 layers of cards on the first cards that are pulled out, 2 layers of cards on the second cards that are pulled out, 2 layers of cards on the third, and so on and so on. And that shows me what is ahead. Then I shuffle the cards and I say, okay, what can I do in order to work with this and to maximize the energy? Like, how can I work with this to make it work for my benefit? So and then I pull those cards on top of that and place them on top. So you'll have 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5, and then 3 cards in each section ultimately. I hope that makes sense. But ultimately what you're going to do is show the strengths and the weaknesses for each level of, what's going to happen next and what you need to do. And then following that, you'll have the advice of the cards, which says 5 of Wands it, which means don't give up. The competition is fierce, but you're fiercer. Okay? So I hope that makes sense, you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Thumbs up if you'd like to see more videos talking about tarot. I do have the Sacred Circle Tarot School, which is intense study of tarot. The links for that are down below, and I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Bye!